I actually have a very interesting story about this when I was building Glide. So the year was 2012, and text messaging was the hot thing. So back in 2012, the idea of sending video messages was pretty much unheard of. WhatsApp and SMS were the kings in the town. We would try and explain to our target demographic or to investors that the best way to stay in touch was through video messages. So the conversations were kind of silly when I look back on it. We had a confirmation bias that video messaging would be the next big thing. And the WhatsApp junkies that we were arguing with had a supportive bias in favor of text messaging, which was the primary means that they were used to. So all of my questions would focus around the pain points that people had with text and the pain points that people had with video calling. And that actually limited my ability to get valuable and insightful feedback from consumers about their behaviors and what it would take to change those behaviors. Being an impartial judge when what's being judged is your baby is really hard. Nobody wants to hear that their baby is ugly. But it's only through those conversations that you end up improving your product or your service or whatever it is that you're asking people about. So I just finished dinner out at the old train station in Jerusalem with this young, lovely lady here, and we are at one of my favorite stores, a puzzle store. Alright guys, just got back from a night out with the missus. I didn't get to finish my story today, so I'll have to continue it tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye. So the background in the previous snap was my daughter's messy bedroom. I used it to illustrate what I feel is one of the biggest challenges that you will face as a startup. If we look back at the first usability tests, at least as far as I understand, they go back to cake mixes in the 1930s. So it was 1930, an exec from General Mills was on a train and was talking to the chef of the train about how good his biscuits tasted. The chef confided in the sales exec that the way that he was able to make such awesome baked goods was by prepping the batter. General Mills then took that concept, improved it, made it have a longer shelf life, and they sold that as their first successful product in 1931. I want to show you, I'm walking to the supermarket now. They put down fake grass here because we live in the desert and real grass is way too expensive. But for it being a desert climate, we do plant a lot of flowers. And this on the way to the supermarket is our community's synagogue. It's a pretty big building here. And there are preschools and stuff around. So this product that General Mills and Betty Crocker put out was called Bisquick, which was short for Quick Biscuits. It was a biscuit mix that was just add water, and their advertisement was 90 seconds from the box to the oven. Around 20 years later, General Mills tried to reproduce their success that they had with biscuits with a cake mix, utilizing a new technology they had for dried eggs. The problem was that when they came out with the cake mix, it was not nearly as successful as they hoped it would be, so they had to figure out why. And it was at this moment that the magic happened. They thought to ourselves, well, we've got to figure out why the cake mix wasn't a success. Let's talk to some users. So General Mills brought a bunch of women in the 50s together into a room and had them make cake together using their cake mix. All you had to do to make the cake mix was add water and mix and pour into the cake tin. So they interviewed the women afterwards and asked them what they liked and didn't like. The women agreed that this cake mix was faster, simpler, and just easier in all ways. But in general, they said that they probably wouldn't use it on a regular basis. The people that ran this test at General Mills were very good about not giving loaded questions. Things like, how much time do you waste baking cakes? They listened very attentively as the women explained a concept that they hadn't anticipated when they built the product. For most of these women, baking a cake wasn't just about making a dessert that tasted good. It also was a feeling of accomplishment and an expression of love. When the process of making the cake was broken down into just pouring a powder and water together and stirring, it lost some of the essence of the cake. This blew the scientists or researchers' minds. Nobody had anticipated this side effect. They came up with a brilliant idea, which was to leave out the powdered egg, which means that you would have to add your own fresh egg to it. They repeated the usability tests, and the responses that they got were significantly better than in the previous tests. People felt like these were real cakes. There's a couple morals to the story. The first one is that whenever you design a product, you're going to get feedback from users, real-world users, that will surprise you. The second moral is that the feedback that you get, i.e., oh, this doesn't feel like baking, doesn't necessarily give you the answers that you need. The third one is that you always have opportunities to tweak and be creative in order to massively increase your product market fit. And the fourth moral of the story is that once you do make tweaks, it's important to repeat your studies and make sure that the tweaks actually improved things. Alright, that's all I got for today. I'm going offline for Shabbat for 25 hours. I will see you guys Saturday night. Have a great weekend.